But my whole thing was saying this is not the fact was the Ians that kind of spelled Britain. Oh my God, how could you? My whole thing is this, right? The Black Lives Matter movement went and protested for lives being lost. While you sat at home eating your pinto beans pie, the ones that you have to take ages to open, the ones that they find for like in those little shops for like £1.
Baby,
Ugh.
they don't know what pinto beans are.
Yeah, true. That's
Pinto beans sounds a little too foreign, okay?
Yeah,
these people were eating egg and chips for breakfast, then they got hungry at lunch and had egg and chips, and then at dinner time they were like, oh, I think I'll mix it up. So instead of having egg and chips, they had egg and fried potato sticks. Okay?
Yeah.
Then for dessert, they ate an entire family-sized cheesecake to themselves, necked 4 cans of beer and passed out on the sofa. These are not people who understand what pinto beans are. These are not people who respect they don't respect bean diversity.
Yeah.
They don't respect the many ways you can prepare beans in order to provide them with flavour. Okay? The only beans they like are baked in sweet tomato sauce, ideally next to some eggs and some chips. No. They don't hear reason. When you say Black Lives Matter to them, they don't hear Black Lives Matter. They don't even hear All Lives Matter. They hear you say to them, your life doesn't matter. And actually, I don't even think they hear that. I think they just hear sirens and like a Kill Bill scenario, and then they just get really, really mad, and they display that anger through their cheeks and their face and their jowls. They just become this hilarious shade of pink. They have to act act out with violence. That's all the thing we can do. So they're in central London. They've gone there to protect statues. That's the mission. That's the goal.
Yeah.
The police are there protecting the
statues.
statues.
As well.
One second, Nick. I just got to get this out. I'm sorry, babe.
Go on, ma'am.
They're there protecting statues. The police are protecting statues from these people. Okay? So the police build a barrier between the statues and the people who want to protect the statues but are now just drunk and angry. So the drunk and angry people start fighting the police and throwing shit at them and getting barriers out. And I am in no way like, hooray for the police on this one, but I'm just like, at some point your message and your mission got confused, because maybe your message and your mission wasn't actually about protecting statues. Maybe you just came down there because you thought this was a good excuse to go beat up some black or brown people. That's what you really wanted to do. You came down looking for a fight because you're bored, because there's no football on, so there's no excuse to go out and get fucked off your face at 11 o'clock in the morning and pretend that someone cares about you and that you're part of something bigger because your football team isn't playing. Okay, there was a group of them there called the Democratic Football Lads Alliance. Which, I'm sorry, if this is a new rise of fascism in the UK, it needs a better name than the Democratic Football Lads Alliance. Like, do you want to be part of the DFLA? DFLA sounds like either a fascist organization or a sofa shop. And if your organization that is aiming for essentially white supremacy sounds like a place where you can get discounted sofas, you need a rebrand. 100%. Okay? This is one of the most offensive things about what happened to this Saturday, is that the branding was off. You went to protect statues, you got there, the police were already protecting the statues and nobody was turning up to deface them, so you had no job, you have a shitty name, you got drunk and started fighting with the police, then you started fighting with each other because you couldn't agree on who was racist enough. Did you see that two of them were arguing? One of them was saying that all lives matter, and one of them was saying that white lives matter, and they were arguing with each other because both of them were saying the other one was racist. And I was just watching like, you're both right, but for the wrong reasons. Yes. You're both terrible people. Just accept that and work together to be terrible so we can just get rid of you all. All of them needed to go. Yeah. But what I did find was that this was the most hilarious thing that's happened in a long time. I got such a good chuckle out of just watching these idiots think they were doing something.
I did as well. I think what's even worse is the fact that, so this is my view. If you're trying to find a name to like brand yourself, stop using a name generator on Google. It's crap. You know what they've done? They've like, let's choose the 4 words we only know, lads and this, and then they chuck it in Google.
They don't know the word democratic.
They chuck it in Google and was like, Google, give me a name, and Google was like, da 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 da, and it was like, yes, we're going this. Secondly, if you're going to spell the word Britain, start spelling it Brit Iron or Brit Ian. What, girl? Are you for real? I saw that sign. I'm like, Brit Ian? And then was the most funniest thing was the guy was like, well, I come here to, I came here down here. And I was like, yes. So not only can you not speak, but when you were trying to get your statement across, you didn't call BLM. You called it B&M. What?
Yeah, because B&M, which is, for those of you who don't know, a massive discounted, like, it's essentially like, it's like a Bizarro World supermarket.
But I
B&M.
love it.
It's madness, and it's great at Christmas if you want to go get some crazy. It's one of those things where you can get Christmas decorations year round.
Yes.
In B&M. That's where you want to go if you need a bauble in July.
Yeah.
But also, B&M is apparently now the home of black rights.
Yeah.
I will proudly stand up and say B&M.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause
Black Lives Matter. B&M. Black names matter.
The worst was, did you see like notice that the statue
big
of
nonce men.
the
Big nonce men.
There was a photo online. I don't know if you saw of like the Churchill statue that they called off. Someone goes, is this an offering? And there was a tin of mackerel and 2 packs of Cadbury rolls on the side. And someone was like, is this an offering?
Let me tell you about Churchill. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Winston Churchill. Okay, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister that led us through World War II. Okay, yes. Winston Churchill was instrumental in defeating one of the greatest evils the world has ever seen. Mm-hmm. That is true. What can also be true is that Winston Churchill was instrumental in causing harm and suffering to millions of people across the globe during his tenure. That can also be true. What can also be true is that Winston Churchill did not appreciate poor people in this country. Winston Churchill did not and put himself with poor people in this country. The key thing for Winston Churchill was that he existed as a middle class, well, probably upper class, politician who looked out for the rights of people that he knew and people like him and business owners and everything. He would have seen these absolutely batshit fascist people who unfortunately come from a working class background and would have, if not spat on you, just walked past you and ignored you. You're going to fight black people and people who support them who are advocating for a cause for a man who would not look twice at you in the street if you were dying. You are this notion of Britishness and it being like protected by people who really support the football team is something that needs to die. And do you know what needs to die along with it? Anybody who has the St. George's Cross outside their house. Okay?
Oh my God.
Actually, no, I take that back. You can keep the St. George's Cross out of your house because all you're telling is every single minority that walks past there, I am a screaming racist. Do not come near me. Which is actually that's a really nice sign for us. Yeah. So we can just sometimes it makes it feel
and be like, ha, hot mess.
Yeah, which makes when the World Cup's on a very strange experience for me because they're everywhere and I'm like, oh my God, I can't tell who supports football and who wants to lynch somebody.
Because everybody jumps on their own bandwagon. Like for example, what was the most embarrassing thing ever? The fact that they were on Whitehall in their George from Asda's best drink in a cellar, and you're giving the police officers not only causing riot, you're raising a Hitler salute? Are you sure you're in the right country? Because
speak on it.
I was like, you're in the wrong place, sis. Because if you know what Churchill stood for, yes, he did fight the Nazis, but how are you going to give the Nazi salute to your own people? Are you in the right country? Did you fall and smack your head on the pavement? Did you what are you doing? Girl,
probably yes.
So you need
to they fell over and got a head injury. Oh, actually, no, that's giving an excuse. These people have made a decision to be this ridiculous. Information is out there that you can read that will basically show you why your viewpoint is strange and weird and wrong.
Yeah.
And
I sat at home and I looked at this. I sat at home and I looked at it. I think to myself, are we seeing because I don't know if you saw, I deleted my Facebook recently because I got a little backlash about stuff that I'd done because me going to the protest ruffled some feathers. But keep in mind, Britain is now officially back to 60%, I will say, working again. Everyone, shops are open. People were complaining about, look at all these people supporting Black Lives Matter, yada yada yada, dot dot dot. But at the same time, You are the same Tom, Dick, and Harry that went out and fight. You went and fight the police, people that meant to protect you. People that meant to protect you, and you fight them? For what? What did you get out of that? You were so horny for a riot? Go home and have a wank and shut up.
Honestly, just knock one out and then go build something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why are you here? Why? Also, and this is another thing, I have to tell any journalist, BBC, ITV, I don't care who you work for, I don't care what the agenda is. If you use the term anti-racist to describe somebody, you are adding 8 extra letters when you could just save word count and just put racist. If you are anti-racist, you are racist. Okay? And there's no like, oh, I just don't appreciate the method. I just don't like this, and I feel like everybody should think, and we should just protect statues and whatever. It's like, okay, babe, you can think that, but what you can also accept is that if you are against anti-racism to the point where you will march, not with us, you're not going to be at Black Lives Matter march, but you're going to be at the anti-Black Lives Matter march, you are just a racist. Yeah. Just accept it. Just say it, wear it loud and proud, so we know who to punch
first. Say it
with
your fucking chest. You're horny for racism.
Say it with your inflated, you've eaten too many battered sausages and you've just got some big old titties. Say it with that chest. Say it with that chest that sits on top of that massive beer gut you've got, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with having one, but you've got one. And just say it. Just say it with your chest that contains your heart, with your arteries, with your cholesterol through the roof. Say it with that. Say it with your chest that contains your lungs that you've smoked into oblivion. They are black like your heart. Just say it with your chest, okay? Say it with, you know, that stomach that you just pile pork pies into? Mm-hmm. A little bit above that is a thing called your chest. That's what you got to be saying you are racist with. And if you come at me with like, I'm not racist, I disagree with the methods and I don't think there should be desecrated statues. Mm-hmm. Fuck them statues, okay? Take them all. If any of these statues are for anybody who has ever owned slaves or caused genocide of people just because they were a different colour and you don't care about it, tear them down, throw them in the nearest body of water, then make the council or somebody pay to get out and put it in a museum if they want, or just let the bitches sink and drown. I do not give a shit about a statue. We're not erasing history. There's a thing called books. I know you don't know what they are because the last one you read was Harry Potter and the, I don't know, Goblet of Fire when you were 14.
Don't even, girl.
We'll talk about her later. We will get in. But I know you don't understand what books are. I know that you don't agree with history being written down and people learning it because you're an idiot. But it exists. I learned more about that fucking Bristol guy when he was getting torn down last week than I've ever learned about anything. And I've been to Bristol. I'd probably walk past that statue. I ain't looking, see that plaque. Also, and this is another thing, if you are currently writing a petition in your area to get a statue removed because they are also racist or a slave owner or thing, get yourself a bike chain or a big chain, get yourself some mates in a truck and go and pull the fucker down, okay? Yes. Stop waiting for these people who take years to enact the barest minimum change to do it when all you can do is literally go and pull down the statue. Let them all sink. I don't give a shit about it.